This is my Landcruiser that I bought for $2,000. And so far I've spent a total of $1,500 fixing it.
No, God, please, no!
That's because the first engine had some serious problems. So I bought another engine from Facebook Marketplace. We then swapped the new engine in, which was painful as this car is so tall. And in the last video, the new engine that I bought hydro-locked. No! That's not a good sign.
Great start on cylinder 1.
Although it's painful to admit, I've failed miserably on this car, but I will not give up until I see it towing all my dead cars from home to our new workshop and without a blown head gasket. Anyway. At the end of the last video, we ended up taking the head off the new motor that we just installed to replace the old one. And we sent that off to the head shop off camera. The head shop cleaned the head up and he called me back and gave me some bad news. This is just a joke at this point, but so here is the head that we dropped off to the machine shop, and after he cleaned it down, he actually found some cracks, which I'm gonna try to show you. If you look carefully, there's a crack just there between the valve seat and the spark plug. So that's cylinder number 4. There's also one on cylinder number 5 as well, almost in the exact same spot. And then there's also one on cylinder number 3. You can see there's a crack there, but basically this head is cooked. The head shop was like, I wouldn't use this head, but I was gonna probably use it anyway. And then he called me like half an hour later and he found another crack. So on the top side of the head, it's right there between that little plug and then the head stud hole. So yeah, this head is completely cooked. So the original head that we set off to the machine shop off the first engine had rust holes that needed to be welded up. The second head that we dropped off just recently has cracks in it and is not usable at all. According to the head shop, he would not risk putting that head on. So I decided that I'd scroll Facebook Marketplace one last time and I picked up another head. So a third head. I think I'm done. I think I'm done with Facebook. Anyway, let me show you. So here's our first head on the table. That's our second head on the ground. That's got the crack in it. And this is the third head that we picked up from Facebook Marketplace. And this one is bad too. Head number 1, head number 2, and head number 3. And the reason why this thing is bad is because it is completely warped. He put a straight edge up against it and it was just completely out. And he tested the strength of the metal and apparently this head was really, really soft. That was also evident by all the spark plug threads, which have been helicoiled. So this head was also very, very bad. But I think that we've finally figured out what we're actually gonna do. And I've already done some testing to make sure that this is gonna work. Now, if you guys remember the first head that we took off, we sprayed some brake cleaner down the ports and the valves were completely burnt out and leaking like crazy. Now, check this out. Look what I've done. If I spray some brake cleaner in here, there are no leaks. We've come up with a plan, guys. Now the valves in this head are also oversized, which means that if I wanted to lap new valves into this head, I would need to get oversized valves. And the machine shop said that he actually has some just laying around. So what I've done is I've used some valve grinding compound and I've used the spare valves that the machine shop gave me. And I was actually able to lap the valves in the seats that it already had. And now I've got a good seal. So out of all the heads that we've got, I think this is the one that we're actually gonna be able to save. We've successfully been able to lap these valves in order to suit this head. So we should be able to sort our valve issue out and then get the head decked. So hopefully this makes sense, but this is the first head that we took off the first engine that came in the Landcruiser originally. The head on the second engine was bad, and then I decided to buy another head off Facebook off camera, and that was also bad. I'm done gambling on Facebook Marketplace. This is a joke at this point. Luckily, however, I've come up with a solution. So in order to take out these valves, we need a special tool in order to compress the spring. And I like to use cheap tools which work. And this is the tool that I'm using. Essentially, it's got a magnet inside. You chuck this on there, smack it with a hammer, and then it collects the keepers, and then you're able to take the valve out. There we go. Got to smack it quite hard, but here is our spring retainer, our keepers, and then we're able to take the spring out. So the special tool helps us take the keepers out, which then releases the valve and allows us to lap the valves and get them to seat right. And now we're able to take all the exhaust valves out. So there you go, there's an exhaust valve. So we're gonna start off with cylinder number 6 and then start valve lapping. So So there's a bit of a technique to this, but I'm not going to bother explaining it to you because I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm just following some other YouTube video on how to lap valves, and this valve lapping tool was a little bit annoying to use because it kept slipping off. It's a pretty satisfying process, however, and it gets the job done. We've now lapped all the valves, and that took way longer than expected. I actually put a drill up to the suction cup because it was just taking so long. So here's cylinder number 1 before valve lapping, and then here's cylinder number 1 again after lapping. Look at that fresh, clean surface. So cylinder number 4 was the worst one. You can see there is no brake cleaner coming out now. The valves are not leaking at all, so the exhaust valves are sealing very nicely. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to sand down the actual engine itself. And the machine shop also gave us a little tool that he made. So it's a flat piece of metal that he's machined down to make it perfectly flat, and he's welded some valves onto it. And this works as basically a straight edge, and you can put some sandpaper on it and sand the block down. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna sand it down and hopefully get a good, nice, clean surface.
I heard you're depressed.
I am very depressed.
So I bought your donut.
Oh, what a nice guy. What is this? Biscoff?
Biscoff cheesecake.
One thing that people, I guess, who don't know Mike Blake need to know is that every time he comes and visits you, he provides the goods. He's got the snacks, drinks.
You swapped the motor in and he didn't even clean it. Like, you put a motor in, it's got dinosaur gunk on this thing. It suits the aesthetic of the car. I have faith though. I feel like you're gonna get it done and you'll just be happy that you have a good running car. You can keep this, honestly, as my vision of just hell, right? Yeah, oh no, the outside needs to be cleaned. So when people look at it, they're like, oh, that's nice. But on the inside, the motor's like, please, sir, oh.
So it's been a few hours of sanding the block, and we've got it to a pretty good point. There was a few low spots you could see that were darker than the rest of the block. And I'll give you guys a close up. All those mechanics in the comments, you can comment down below. But obviously there are gonna be a few spots, a few watermarks, but cylinder number 1, where it was filled with water, was really bad. You see that black stuff just there, that was like going all the way down into the combustion. So I think the head gasket leaked from the block side because you can see there's a little bit of damage there. I'm just gonna keep going at it. It's looking way better than it was before. We just wanna get those firings sorted so that there's no combustion leak and everything's sort of sealing correctly. So this tool that the machine shop gave us has been awesome. It's literally just a block that's been milled, and yeah, I've just changed out the sandpaper a few times. For those wondering, I'm using 240 grit, and then I'll work my way up to about 600 grit and then just call it at that. After sanding everything down, I had to leave the shop, so a good friend of ours, Mason, took over for a little bit because we've got a serious problem in Victoria and we need help.
A sharp rise in car theft is prompting a new Crime Stoppers campaign.
A car-loving grandfather has been taken for a ride.
More than 31,000 cars were stolen across Victoria in the year to March.
Thefts doubling in a year.
So we've got Mason round to help our situation, and I'll let him take over.
So we've just picked up the keys to Rexy and the boys' factory. The boys are caught up with doing some other stuff. Yeah, we're going to be straight into it, installing some bollards for them.
So that's right, Mason from Mercfab, who installed our hoists, also now does bollards. So he's come down to the shop and he's going to install 2 big poles that'll keep our cars safe.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mason from Mercfab. We are here today at Rex's workshop. We're going to be installing 2 brand new bollards sitting in these 2 positions in front of the roller wall today. We're going to be doing the 140mm. They are the big boys. They're going to protect you from a lot of ram raids that keep happening around the suburbs at the moment, which is getting more popular and popular, unfortunately.
And it's only getting worse. So we're taking some preventative measures in order to protect our cheap crappers from Facebook.
At Mercfab, we offer the 140s, the 114s, and the 90mm removable bollards. So you can give us a call or check out our emails. They'll be somewhere around here.
So we gave our keys to Mason and he got right into installing the bollards. This is not a simple process and requires some special tools, but luckily Mason's a pro.
Once we've got our center lined up and everything, we've got 2 anchor points that we actually fix. When you drill in these big holes, especially, you need stabilization, and drilling in 2 anchor points just to hold this down helps it a hell of a lot. Alrighty guys, so we've just finished off the drilling of the holes in the ground, and this is what comes out of the ground. This is what we call a core. So this is around nearly 200 mil thick, and we're gonna continue cleaning up the holes now, and then we're gonna start inserting and putting in the keepers.
So we just got back from the machine shop. We've got the head, it's looking awesome. And look what I've just rocked up to. Have a look at this, guys. We've got safety bollards.
We have got some bollards in.
Hell yeah, how'd you go installing them, man?
They went pretty good. I'm guessing you guys will see the video on me solo installing these without the boys around, unfortunately, but
we gave Mason the keys. Next minute I know we've got bollards, guys. So what is the best way to contact you if you want bollards installed at your home or your garage?
you can either contact us directly on our Facebook, Instagram, or off our website itself. You'll see the links somewhere here that Rex will put up. But yeah, just hit us up through email or calling the number straight off.
Bro, look at this size. That's like almost 6 foot. Cheers, bro. Appreciate it.
Happy days, man.
So if you want bollards installed, hit up Mason from Merc Fab. Anyway, let's get back to working on the Landcruiser.
You always got your cruiser, you got your cruiser people and you got your patrol people, and it's
that's why Landcruiser's better.
Yeah, but patrol's better.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be hiring you anymore, man. That's it. Mason's gone now. We've got our bollards and we've now got our head back from the machine shop. So let me show you what he said. Finally, we have a head back. That's apparently all good. Everything's been skimmed. We've got a completely beautiful, nice flat finish on everything. He went ahead and welded some of the holes up, closed them, and made them a little bit smaller, and then decked everything after that. And then he went over and vacuum tested every single one of the valves. Cylinder number 1 has some dots in it because apparently these valves need a bit more lapping. So I'm gonna do that later. But you wouldn't believe it, I found another problem with this engine. I can't. I thought I was finally getting lucky, but doesn't end. The block is looking pretty good. However, the timing chain guides have a bit of a problem. So I don't know how I didn't spot this earlier. You can see if we pull this gear just away from the guide, there is supposed to be a plastic piece on the guide right there. You can see that there's one on the other guide. However, the plastic piece for this guide has fallen down in the valley there. There's no way I can get the camera in there, but it has fallen in there. So I'll show you on the other motor. You can see there is a guide here. This one's a little bit broken, but there's a plastic piece that goes over this metal guide. And the great thing is, in order to get to that guide and remove it and replace it, I need to take the timing cover off, which means that I have to take the sump off. This is all stuff that I wish I could have done when the engine was out of the car. I should have just done it, I know, but we're gonna have to take the sump off and the timing cover off. And yeah, then we'll be able to get access to the timing chain. So we're gonna quickly whiz through this. What you're gonna see is hours worth of footage. I had to take the alternator off, the water pump, the AC compressor, the thermostat housing. That all had to come off in order to remove the timing cover and the lower sump. But this is what happens when you try to fast track results. I should have done this when the engine was out of the car. So far, we've taken off the AC compressor, everything on the left side, including the thermostat housing, and now I've got a big Milwaukee gun on the harmonic balancer. Oh my God, I don't think that's coming off. So we're gonna start taking this sump off now, but before we do that, we're gonna remove the oil. And I think I had a few comments in the previous video with you guys saying that it was interesting that the oil that came out of the motor originally wasn't milky. Someone that has previously owned this engine and has sold it definitely filled it up with some dirty oil, because this thing definitely was milky before I bought it because the head gasket was done. So anyway, let's crack the bolt, shall we? Here we go. Oh yeah. That is straight milk oil. Oil and coolant has definitely mixed. Oh my God. So now we need to take the sumps off. So there's 2 sumps. There's a lower sump and then there's an upper sump. Unfortunately, the upper sump is bolted to the timing case. So we do have to take all of this stuff apart. Luckily, it's pretty simple. Just taking everything else off sucks.
You're gonna wiggle all the con rods. They're gonna be loose. That's gonna be the cherry on top.
I hope not. Nice. All right, it's bits of the timing chain guide. Look at that, guys. Milkshake. And look, there are pieces in here. That's timing chain pieces. That's literally, yeah, timing chain guide pieces. I tried to look for it in the hole that the timing chain's in, and I couldn't see anything, but I guess it's somehow made its way to the sump. Luckily, they're plastic. Oh man, pulling the whole engine apart at this point. Should have just done it when it was outside of the car. Any metal, or is it just plastic? The timing chain guide has been chewed up. Got a magnet,
let's go fishing. I mean, there's not really anything there. That's just the oil. Yeah, I think we're all right. So let's take a look at the pickup really quick. Looks like some timing chain guide pieces / silicone. No metal though, which is good. We're just prying now at the upper sump. It is quite difficult to get off inside the car, but we found a good pry spot, so that's not gonna ruin anything. Okay, yeah, it turns out we missed the bolt. It was covered in dirt. Nathan luckily spotted it. He's behind the camera, but he hasn't got a mic on. But yeah, all we need to do now, a bit of a pry. Oh, there goes my timing. This thing is so unbelievably hard to take apart. We now have the upper sump off, and check this out. I had to use the good old engine crane in order to get the upper sump out, because you actually have to lift up the motor because there's not enough room in order to pull the upper sump out. Unbelievable. Here is how she is currently looking. Just use some head studs to lift up the engine, and yeah, just gonna leave it here, clean up the surface, ready for some grey silicone to seal it all up. Now, of course, I can't put everything back together looking like this. So before we get the timing chain and everything, I'm gonna head to the laser shop, and then we're gonna clean all this stuff up and hopefully make it look brand new again, because dude, that is so dirty.
So I headed down to the laser shop, a new business that we started for cleaning car parts with precision, and these parts are gonna undergo a pretty crazy transformation. So guys, we are now here at Laser Cleaning Victoria. This is a business that a few mates of mine and I started, and we do laser cleaning. We've demonstrated this in a few videos, but essentially we've got laser machines that clean up dirt, rust without using any harsh chemicals. So I'm gonna grab the Landcruiser parts and then bring them in and show you what these lasers can do. Remember how these parts look, because they're about to undergo a crazy transformation with our laser cleaners. The benefit of laser cleaning is that you don't have to spray any harsh chemicals on the surfaces that you're cleaning, as it is a non-contact form of cleaning. Anyway, I'll let the laser machines do the talking. All right guys, everything is now laser cleaned. It looks so much better. I was definitely rushing because we need to head back to the shop and finish up. Have a look at the results. These things are so much better than how they came in. Free of dirt, free of oil, free of oxidation. Look at that. There are definitely some spots that I missed because we're in a rush, but if you guys wanted to get stuff like this done for your car so you don't have to scrub yourself, because remember, your time is valuable, then hit us up at Laser Cleaning Victoria. I'm gonna leave the links in the description below if you guys want to get anything laser cleaned. It doesn't have to be automotive. We can work on concrete as well, remove oil stains. But yeah, let's head back to the cruiser and start finishing it off. First thing that we're gonna do is install the timing chain and then put the timing cover on. Then we'll be able to put the sump on and muck around with that. So pretty simple. I installed the new timing chain guides, then installed the timing chain and the gear. I had to zip tie everything in place because if you don't zip tie it, then everything can come apart and then your timing chain isn't on the correct marks in order to be kept in time. Also torqued everything to spec, so we should be good. Timing chain now on. Look at that. Everything's torqued to spec and I've got a zip tie holding it all together. And then we have our timing case over here. Just put a brand new crank seal in and got the new O-rings in as well. And now I need to put silicone around the whole thing. Just some gray silicone, that's the good stuff. And then we're able to chuck the timing case on. Should be pretty easy. Always buy silicone in a tube like this because it's way more cost effective. All right, here goes nothing. Got the sumps on, everything's tight. There you go. I didn't clean the lower sump because it was just too much of a pain. There was so much dirt built up. I'll have to clean that another time, but I need to get this job done. So that's why it's not clean. But everything else though is looking pretty schmick. Laser cleaned upper sump. It's a little bit dirty now. Finally, it's time to install our head. Oh my God. All that for a timing chain. Can't believe it, but oh man. Let's get the head on and start putting the car back together. The other thing we need to do now is put the head gasket on. And we've also got some of the boys here. So Nathan's behind the camera. We have Mason. He's back again.
Mason and Nathan.
So we are going to be running a Permasteel head gasket. Genuine, too expensive and hard to get. So Permasteel, hopefully it does the job. Yeah, this way. On. Boom. With a new timing chain, new seals on the upper sump and lower sump, and the head gasket on, it was finally time to install the head. Yeah, so I go down on your right hand.
You forgot something. He forgot it.
I should have double laid them.
See this? See?
We then installed the head bolts, which were torqued to 40 Newton meters, then 2 90-degree turns, and then the head was finally on. Okay, it's now the next day. I was at the shop until about 2 AM last night, finishing everything off. And here we are, we've currently got basically everything on. Alternator, AC compressor, all the water stuff. We just need to put that upper intake manifold on, the valve cover, and a few other little things like the exhaust. And we are almost ready to go. All right, it's now been a few days since we left off when Imran was here, and we have the entire engine back together. So we're about to do its first start. I'm very nervous. But yeah, I think it should be all fine. We still have to play around with the timing. It's currently got engine flush in there as well because obviously you saw that we got milky oil, so we had to flush everything out. The instructions say to start it for 15 minutes, get it warm, if it even starts, and then drain the oil, so.
Look, we've had false hope so many times that at any given moment, it could just give up. It's got a pretty bad exhaust leak.
Yeah, we need to fix that, but everything else is running all right, I guess. We'll get it up to temperature and then I'll see what's going on. Oh,
it's pretty clean.
It's looking good. It's very felt very thin, probably because of the flush.
Yeah.
No more milky oil.
The top layer of milk might come later. It's just a skim milk.
Now, remember last time when we drained this, it was milky. Oh, it smells like
fuel.
There we go, guys. The Landcruiser is now running. Oh my goodness, what an adventure. I did a compression test off camera. Everything was all good. The compression's reading fine. So there we go. A running and driving 80 series 1993 Landcruiser. I don't want to jinx it yet because we still need to get this thing registered and on the road driving. So there's still a few more steps that we have to take in order for that to happen. And now it's finally time for some modifications, baby. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, give it a like and I'll see you all in the next one. Catch you later. Appreciate you all.